The look on your faces I just saw, it scares me. It really, really does. I was born in India, and growing up as an Indian, politics is as crucial as one thing: food. When I went to a relative's house, all the uncles were sitting in one circle, talking about the tax benefits or international relations, while enjoying piping hot biryani. When I went to a party, everyone around discussed about the presidential elections, as the smell of aromas from the kitchen spread throughout the room. Politics, like food, was intoxicating to me. Day after day, I watched the news with my dad, discussed with people in my neighborhood about the economic race between China and the US, and simply talked with strangers about their political thoughts. This way, I found something common among everyone to talk about, which helped me understand someone's background and the way they were raised that impacted their political thoughts today. By discussing so much with others about politics, I felt like I was close to and aware of major things happening in the world. It felt like with just my hand, I could myself play a role in the world of politics. However, I think we can all agree that politics in the last few years has seemed really, really different. It felt like my hand was slowly getting farther and farther away from me, from the feeling that I could leave a difference. It felt like the people I believed in seemed to be just driving in the other direction, completely opposite to me. This sudden change in politics is something so recent and so relevant that it's made people lose faith in the system itself. The average person felt so far away that no matter how much they spoke or how loud they were, their voice did not matter at all. It felt like being governed by others than actual self-government. We live in an era where we are presented with war. War between two political parties that blindly attack each other. We live in a society where we not only feel, but see major corporations have more of a say in politics than the general public does. We live in a country where our leaders are so interested in the economy rising under their belt that they forget what they campaigned and stood up for. As time goes on and on, they slowly live down to our already lowering expectations. This game, so to speak, seems to be mere entertainment for us. Let me tell you one thing, it's not. The day we start treating politics in this country as time passes is the day this country starts to crumble. It is high time that we return to our fundamental basics of politics. But in order to do that, we have to overcome America's #1 biggest problem: the deep, deep divide between America's two biggest political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. But in order to overcome that divide, we can solve it in 2 steps. First, educate people on political information such as the news. The second step, lessening social media in politics. The first step, educate people on political information like the news and social media. The average person spends 8.6 hours a day using technology, drowning in oceans of information. One survey shows that 1 in 5 people primarily get their news through social media. I'm not saying that all news online is fake. What I'm saying is imagine how many people get peer pressure to vote for a certain party because all of their friends are doing it. If people are educated based on facts, not based on influence, they can understand the other person's point of view, lessening the divide in this country. The second step, lessening social media in politics. Tech platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram have fueled the fire of extreme polarization in this country, spreading misinformation like an epidemic. Globally, 3.6 billion people use social media, so just imagine how critical a role social media plays in spreading propaganda and influencing its users. One statistic shows that social media manipulation was found to be used in 81 countries, and firms offered 48 different governance propaganda. Social media has outperformed governments and overthrow regimes, but in this scenario, it is tearing our country apart. But before we can implement these two steps, we have to change our mindset about politics. We have to see this as an extension to what we think, rather than something as mere time pass. Much of what will benefit the society today is not going to be flashy. It is not going to be entertaining to see leaders on TV putting each other down. We're either going to be opting out of politics or helping politics evolve, not only for us, but for future generations that deserve better. We should not want to and have to live in frustration and resentment, but what we do want to do is to be inspired, change how our leaders interact with us, even if that means we're the leaders instead. Politics isn't exhilarating, it's not flashy, it's not entertaining. It's not about false promises, where we are the ones getting affected. As the Riddler in the Batman once said, "If you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price to pay for your black eye?" Thank you.